Do you feel that comes from going back to your North Carolina days during your initial encounter with George Clinton and how their team and how gracious they were to you, back then? Because it seems like it's kind of like
Yeah.
it's recurring. Is that they made time for you, embraced you, so to speak, and then you went on and continuously doing that for everyone else. You're looking for Robert Townsend to
Yeah.
work with, all these different things, these different elements.
Yeah, it's sort of like being imprinted with a good example. And I was so blessed. Nobody tried any weird, creepy, freaky stuff with me as a 16, 17, 18. George wouldn't even do drugs around me till I was 40. Okay. So I'm like,
think you're old enough now.
yeah. And I would be like, no, man. Because back in the days, I'd be like, I just kiss him on the cheek. And then I'd be like, oh, my face is frozen and I'm driving 80 miles an hour. Like, no, thank you. I'm getting enough like being over here. But yeah, it's like the entertainment business. And I guess anything that's visual, it's like people tear each other down and do all types of things to like steal credits from the people who did certain things. It's like, it's weird. And I never wanted to be that person. And I thought the more people I magnify, even if it's only in my own mind and my own heart, the more I am magnified. And I think every act of kindness that you do in the universe means something, even if other people don't recognize it. But it means something in the holistic view of the world that we live in, which is crazy. But just lift people when you can.
And then one of the things that you did, because you talk about standing up for people, standing your ground. There's a story in your book where you actually literally did that. We hear about Gene Griffin and a lot of things that he was actually doing in the industry as a producer, and
manager.
Whatever. We go on in detail about his background. But in your book, you literally stood up to him, you and your partner, Alvin, your engineer.
Yep.
And during
Alvin.
that time, we heard the stories of how Gene is stepping to Andre Harrell, trying to get pieces of publishing and things of that nature. But there's a story that happened in Atlanta where a similar situation is happening, but you push back. Would you like to share that story?
Yeah, it was simple. So Gene was dating Dallas's aunt. So, but he had no idea what Dallas was capable of doing. And so I guess in his mind, he thought, oh, well, this is like part of my family already. So I just kept getting these messages from people are like, what? I don't even know this dude. I don't have nothing to do with this dude. I was like, he's going to do what? I said, okay, so listen, when somebody, and at that time, of course, I was a lot more fearless. I'm not so much, I'm just sort of resigned these days, like, okay, like whatever. But at that time, because I'm doing business legitimately, and if somebody wants to threaten to kill me because they want to sign somebody I have, I'm like, okay, I see movies. That's cool. But I grew up in a military family and, I don't like guns, but I'm not afraid of them necessarily. My father had like M16s and different things, because of his military service. And I was like, I can't be walking around with a target on my back. So I was like, I said, Dallas, I need you to get Gene on the phone. Dallas is so nervous anyway. He's like, I said, get him on the phone. I said, there's an issue. Tell him to come on over here and we can have it out right now. Because we have music to create. So Dallas got him on the phone. He is so scary. And then he was like, he was whispering something. Probably like, she's crazy too. So like, I don't know, man. Anyway, so then he said, he wants to talk to you. So yeah, I was nervous, but I was like, I got to get this out. We got to get this out. So Gene gets on the phone and he's like, hey, I'm Gene, people like me and you should really work together. We probably have some of the same goals. And, I just wanted you to know, I don't have any issue with you. I think you're cool and maybe we can work together someday. And I was like, oh, okay, thank you. And I hung up the phone. I was like, whew, okay, Lord, we can get rid of all of these guns because I'm not really into guns. But, and like now it's normal where rappers, they're shooting up studios and stuff. It's like, I just want to make music. But yeah, it's like you can't let anybody like punk you like that. and survive, not at that time.
I mean, it's interesting you brought that up because the one thing I noticed when you look at the credits of stuff that you did with Dallas is that his name is on there, while in other cases, some people would put their name in there and maybe have Dallas playing the drums and stuff like that, but the publishing. Yeah. So I guess, I mean, because you learned what Dick was doing, but you maybe had the opportunity when you had this young 16-year-old to actually take his name as well, but you didn't. What was how did, and you're in the entertainment industry, what was the moral compass that made sure that you're going to treat him as fairly as you wanted to be treated?
I kept seeing all of this stuff with people who never got credit. I think, I'm not sure, but like Candy Burris, I've known her since she was a little girl, but she was a great songwriter.
From Escape,
Yeah, she was a great songwriter. And I think at the time she wasn't getting credit or couldn't get her songs on. And I was like, that's crazy. She writes great music. And I would see in Atlanta a lot of these guys with big names, and they'd have a bunch of staff people underneath them, but none of those other people's names would ever appear. And I ended up co-producing and co-writing Meeting in the Ladies' Room, and my name didn't appear. But Dick told me ahead of time, he said, I will pay you as a producer, no matter how many people it is, because your name may inadvertently be left off certain things, because he had prior agreements. So he was still trying to look out for me. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. And I'm talking to the guys in Midnight Star about that now. Like, okay, I'm ready to get my credit now. But when you create something, it's like it comes from your soul. And people should be credited. Now, I got criticism because I put my name as producer of Mr. DJ, which was, I guess, the first track that Dallas did a track to that was a hit. And I was like, he was learning. I said, just like Quincy or like Puffy or any of these guys that you think are okay, they don't have to play everything. They're still the producer. I'm still the producer of this song. I'm the architect of every bit of this record, from the music to the vocals. That's it. But people should get their credits. And that's like capital. That's business capital, having your credits.
Yeah.
So when you share that story, do you think that a lot of that is lost in translation when we look in terms of what the difference is between what a producer actually is? Because as you know, being in the industry as long as you have, the dynamics, the aesthetics, the characteristics of what a producer is, it has changed over the years. So do you feel that because you were kind of caught up, you were in the middle, because you were groomed, I don't like to say old school, but you were groomed in a classic era, but then now you're in a contemporary era, but that model that you are utilizing, people are not embracing it, they're not accepting it, because now it's a different connotation of what a producer actually is.
Whoever can do a drum beat or a sample, that's it. I'm the producer. I'm like, okay, cool. Maybe we can collab, whatever. I can still actually play stuff, so I can do it myself, or we can work together. But I don't even try to get into that argument. And I don't blame people for the era that they came into being. This is a different era. There's so much. AI is going to put us all out of business at some point. I don't know. So, but it's very, very different. If you can tap a beat, hit a button, you're a producer. I'm like, okay.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of Halftime Chat. Please remember to subscribe, share, and comment. But most importantly, why don't you become a member of Halftime Chat? We've got amazing videos, amazing perks, and being able to support the channel. But anyway, thanks for watching. Take care.
I never participated in that category.
And somewhere in between.
For even loving us, on which I did miss you with.
But what was it like growing up?
She's still making an impact on 4 houses down.
I have a crew pieces.
Trying to get this one and that one.
That works for you, but just for me,
No, okay, you're okay.
They don't understand what Jonas Boys and men and all spirits.
play it.
And all these guys, they all work together.
I mean, I love all different genres.